if you're not early or late, right?
Recording in progress.
You want to go ahead and introduce everybody? And
Oh, yeah. Thanks everybody for joining today. We're gonna have a presentation from Rob from the Plata County Emergency Response Division about our upcoming fire season and our drill we're gonna be doing on the 24th. Today we got Rob Farino from the county, Gary Frisbee, Greg from security at Glacier, and
John McAworth from Rockwood.
John from Rockwood HOA, and Corey from Glacier. And Rob's gonna give us a little presentation today. Hello.
Hey,
Take it away.
Okay.
let me do this.
Yeah, as Bobby said, my name is Rob Farino. I work with La Plata County Emergency Management. Retired from California Fire Service, 30 years there. About 4 years in with La Plata County Emergency Management. And we are getting ready for our 5th annual wildfire evacuation exercise. And each year we coordinate with subdivisions and neighborhoods that want to do a wildland type fire drill. And it encourages, number one, it allows us to practice what we do in emergency management on our side of things. And it also is a good opportunity for residents and homeowners to practice their own preparedness measures, putting together a go kit, where they would go if they were evacuated. And it also is a good time for us to send out emergency alerts that are clearly labeled drill and test so that people can understand what they look and feel and sound like, and also encourage those who have not signed up for alerts to sign up. So this is a brief presentation. You can guys
Excuse me one second. Carlos and Elisa, can you hear all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So this presentation is pretty brief, 15, 20 minutes, depending on questions and stuff. It's pretty much fire focused, but these are all La Plata County incidents. So there's a lot of other risks to be aware of. If you were around in the last few years, you've probably experienced most of these. The Gold King, heavy winter storms, mudslides, rock slides, you name it. Hazmat, we're not immune. So things in this presentation apply to pretty much all the risks we face. Our mission is in emergency management to to mitigate risk and protect the community. And how do we do that? Well, I'm supposed to advance slides here. Pretty much everything we do fits into 5 themes. Number one, we want to keep bad things from happening in the first place. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The accident that the fire that never starts is the best kind. Teaching your kids not to play with matches, stage 3 fire restrictions, all those kind of things are aimed at preventing. But we all know bad things are going to happen. So what we want to do is make things less bad. I'll wait for you to catch up. Mitigation things that we do are like fire mitigation. We have grant funding that we manage on doing fire mitigation. There's flood mitigation plans. So we know bad things are going to happen. There's things we do that make them less bad. Preparedness. This is what we're doing right now with public outreach, trying to communicate to the public. And our goal is to have an informed and a prepared public. That leads to lives being saved. So that's why I'm here talking to you. Hopefully this presentation being recorded goes out to as many people as we can get it to, and we can inspire people to step up their own emergency preparedness. Everybody's, on a different page. If you're at a 2 or 3 on a 1 to 10 scale as being prepared, we encourage people to see what you can do to step it up a couple notches. Response for us is a secondary role. We support the fire departments and the law enforcement and medical service in emergency management. We make sure we try to stay a step ahead, make sure they have everything they need. And one of the biggest things that happens in a fire, which is one of our biggest risks, is managing people and getting people out of harm's way. That way the firefighters can focus on putting fire out and not on persuading people to evacuate or not being able to get into neighborhoods because the streets are choked up and stuff. So one of the first things that happens is that incident commander notifies the EOC, hey, we've got a big fire with major potential. We need to do some evacuations. So that's when we spring into action and we start our response, which is a big part of that is alert and warnings. And of course, the responders are trying to stop bad things from happening when they do. And then lastly, recovery. This is the phase that goes for weeks, months, or years. After the 416 fire, after the Missionary Ridge fire, recovery efforts, helping people rebuild their homes and rebuild their lives. We have a hand in that as well. So recovery is one of the other things we do. The more prepared you are, the easier it is to recover. And that should make sense to you, especially after I share some things with you. So my next couple slides here are a motivation step, trying to convince people that it can happen here because it has happened here and it could happen again. If you were here in 2018, you probably saw the big plume in the sky from the 416 fire. 53,000 acres and no homes. Falls Creek was at the southern end of this, and because of fire mitigation efforts in and around Falls Creek, firefighters were able to make a stand and they felt safe doing so. And that's where the southern boundary of the fire stopped. So mitigation does work, and that's one good example of that. Across the valley, the Missionary Ridge fire back in 2002 burned all the way from Missionary Ridge Road all the way to Vallecito Lake, consuming 73,000 acres and 54 homes. And both of these fires were on the heels of a lackluster winter with lower than average snowpack. And unfortunately, if you haven't been around this winter, we're in that same boat now. I think we're in the 60s as far as percent of snow water equivalent and snowpack. So things are dry out there once again. And here's something that reflects that. This just came early in March to us. We're in that red zone in southwest Colorado. And this just basically says the same thing. We are at above normal risk for significant wildfire potential because of that lower moisture. And what that means, significant wildfire potential means fires start easier because of the fuels being dry. They burn hotter, more intensely, and they're more difficult to put out. So none of those things are good for us. So we are taking advantage of the public awareness of this fact and trying to get people to be prepared. So to do that, we came up with a little acronym to help you remember 4 things, family friendly 4-letter word to remember for you. Number 1, S stands for stay informed. First and foremost, like I said, alert and warning program is one of the bigger things we do. And there's 2 types of emergency alerts we want you to be aware of: IPAWS and code red. IPAWS stands for Integrated Public Alert and Warning System. Let you catch up here. So IPAWS stands for Integrated Public Alert and Warning System. This is a federal FEMA program. There's a presidential alert, there's Amber alerts. These are coming to your phone, whether you've opted in or signed up or not. These are enabled on your phone when your phone comes new out of the box. You can, however, go in and disable them. We don't want people to do that. And if you have gotten a secondhand phone or you think you may have disabled those because you got tired of hearing Amber alerts, you might want to look at my next slide. I'll show you where those settings are. But number 1, verify that your phone can receive IPAWS alerts. These are the highest level of alert. We only use these in a life and death situation, and we have no time. Typically, if the first arriving units have structures burning or threatened and they need people out immediately, we use an IPAWS alert and we send it out. We can't control how far this goes. Cell phone providers have to send this out. So with the cell phone coverage that La Plata County has, there's really no way to shrink that zone. So this is going countywide, and it actually even has some spillover into Archuleta, Montezuma, and the two San Juan counties to the north and south of us. So it's like painting with a giant roller for us, and we can't be very specific, but that's okay. We include a link that shows exactly who's affected and not. Sure, I can take a
Okay, I've
question.
got a Phoenix area code, and I'm up here. It's gonna read on my phone up here.
Yep, you enter, yes, it'll enter, or it'll hit your phone wherever you're at with your cell phone. So if you're visiting, and we'll catch visitors, and that's another reason why we rely on iPause for immediate threat events, because we've got a large visiting population in this area during peak times, right? So this enables us to catch visitors as well. The code red alerts you do need to sign up for. This is a targeted alert where we draw a circle on a map, and if you live or if you've entered an address into code red and signed up for alerts within that map circle that we've drawn, you're going to get these alerts. This allows us to differentiate between putting in a certain zone on pre-evac and the other zone on go now, and then we can modify that as the fire progresses and we need to update and change things. So we have a lot more precision with this alert. And you can sign up for up to 10 different locations. We encourage people to sign up for their residents, any friends or relatives that they're concerned about in the area. Schools, if you have children in school, maybe your place of work, anything that you want to be notified that is affected by an emergency, you can enter up to 10 different addresses. And you can receive these alerts by voice phone call, text message, and or emails. We encourage you to sign up for all of the above. If you're sitting at your computer and your phone is in the other room, you would get an email alert. So don't rely on just one. And again, you can enter multiple phone numbers for your address. So if everybody in your home has a cell phone, you can enter all those phone numbers so everybody gets the alert. So we encourage people to sign up for all possible alerts and cover, just cast a wide net for those. But again, you're not going to receive those if you're not signed up. And I'll show you some options for how to sign up on that. The other ways to stay informed are social media. With the caveat, you want to rely on official sources. Don't go to Facebook for your information to confirm what everybody else is doing. Rely on official sources, and most government agencies have embraced this now and are using that as a tool pretty effectively. The Forest Service, BLM, City of Durango, the County of La Plata, we all have social media pages, and we will put correct information out there, and we try to have alignment of communication so that the public gets the same message no matter what platform they're getting. So we put a lot of effort into having everybody on the same page saying the same thing, so we don't have confusion. Other ways to stay informed, there's phone apps. We encourage everybody to pay attention to the weather, especially later in the fire season when things get hotter and drier and we go into fire restrictions or red flag alerts being issued. That goes into your routine, hopefully, of being informed and being prepared. There's an app called Watch Duty, and there's others as well that pull information from NIFC and official sources as far as radio traffic and fire emergencies. And you can go to Watch Duty, sign up for any fire alerts in the county, and as soon as the fire engine is dispatched to a fire and you want to be alerted, it will let you know. So you'll get heads up to an incident that's just starting without having to listen to a scanner, and that's a pretty cool way to stay informed as well. Here's what I was talking about on your iPhone. On the left, if you go to settings, that gear symbol, go to notifications, and you scroll all the way down, that's where your government alerts are. And you can see this phone has everything on. The second one down, the emergency alerts, that is the WIA, or wireless emergency alerts, that's synonymous with iPause. You can see the bottom one there has test alerts. If you want to receive the tests that we do, just so you're you can verify that the system's working and you're receiving things, you can sign up to receive the test alerts as well. For Android users, it's a little different. You go to settings, safety and emergency, and wireless emergency alerts is its own page there. And you can see up at the top, the receive wireless emergency alerts, that's your iPause alerts. So we encourage you to make sure you're going to receive the iPause alerts. The alert format is in the upper right-hand corner there. We try to be very consistent with our messages. So we say where the message is coming from. In our case, it would be LPCOEM for La Plata County Office of Emergency Management. And then it'll say what the hazard is, where it is, what actions we want you to take. And if there's a time component, we'll let you know. Usually that'll be immediately or, stay tuned. And then we found it's critical to send a link to a map. And I'll show you what that alert looks like. It goes to readylaplata.org, and that should make things very clear for everybody. So alert and warning is one thing we are trying to do in our office very well. It's one of the key skills and abilities that we have to make sure everybody's safe. Okay, so the next letter stands for arrangements. Things you can make, arrangements you can make ahead of time to be best prepared. And it's one thing to just, have a checklist and think you know what you're going to do, but until you actually time yourself and actually gather those things and see how long it takes, it's a whole different thing. So we make kids do fire drills in school so that they know what to do. Have your own fire drill. Every April is a good time to do that. Things that you want to make sure you can get out of the house with: people, pets, pills, papers, personal items, and priceless items. If you're on medication and that's important to you on a daily basis and you have to leave your house for 3 to 5 days, you might want to have, we call it a go kit or a go bag. You might want to build that ahead of time, and you can talk to your doctor and get a 1-month prescription of those vital prescriptions and just tell them that's going to go in your emergency kit. And that way you don't have to rummage through your medicine cabinet in the heat of the moment. Same thing for your pets, having an extra water bowl and a leash or a cat carrier. They make like little mini folding litter boxes for an emergency, or all the things that your pets are going to need. Important papers. Think about where you keep them all. For me, what works for me is I've gotten some red hanging folders and tabbed folders in my file cabinet at home, and towards the front, I just keep everything that's critical in red folders. So, in 10 seconds, I can open that drawer, grab all my red files, put them in my go box, and I'm on to the next thing. I also use a safe deposit box for originals of vehicle titles, passports, birth certificates, social security card, all those things that are very difficult to recreate if you lose them all. So come up with a plan that works for you, I guess, is the best thing I can say. And until you practice it, you just don't know. The Go Kit, if we do an evacuation, plan to be out of your house for 3 to 5 days and whatever you need. If you're very dependent on lip moisturizer and hand lotion, or other things, eyeglasses, contact lenses, if you can have I have dehydrated backpacking food in there and some instant coffee. So just those little comfort items as well, things that you can live on for 3 to 5 days, or things that go in your Go Kit. There's an example of, the important documents. Now's a good time to think about your insurance. Is it adequate? Talk to your insurance agent, and I have some more information that I can provide as far as your homeowner's insurance. But then also, it's a good idea to take photos or just do a video room by room, open up all your drawers, open your closet, and document everything you have. So, in the event of your house no longer being there when you come back, you can sit down with your insurance agent and say, yeah, I've got, I had 8 pairs of shoes in my closet, and I had, this and I had that, and it's going to be a lot easier if it's not coming from memory. Logins and passwords, we all know how critical that is. Using a password manager instead of a little black book that could get lost is also going to be key for rebuilding your life if you don't have a home to go back to. And then where are you going to go? You got friends and family in other areas. Maybe we do set up a shelter. We don't tell people to go out of an area without giving them an option to go to. For us, that's going to be a Red Cross assisted shelter. Could be fairgrounds, could be a local school, could be the ski resort. We're going to set up a shelter where we can house people overnight, and we've got cots and blankets and food. And if the hotels all fill up, that's going to be an option. Some people may have a camper and they keep their camper fully ready to go, and they're just going to go camp somewhere. So having a place to go and multiple options, good. One of the key things we can do is work with your neighbors. I have a couple elderly folks in our neighborhood that don't drive. And so they're on my list to check in on. And if they need a ride or they need help, I'm going to help them out. Also have a neighbor who works in Farmington, and thank you. If his dog is, in the house alone and we are getting evacuated, I take his dog on a walk once in a while. And so I'm friendly with the dog. I can scoop her up and help with the pet. So that network of neighborhood, that community, helping each other is a key thing too. And those things really need to be discussed and planned out ahead of time. Help each other out. Then it's also good to have somebody out of the area, maybe a family member that everybody can check in with your family. If you can't get a hold of each other, you can at least let somebody know that you've made it out and you're safe and where you are. And having that remote link has proved helpful for people in the past as well. So these are just some arrangements, get you to think ahead about what you're going to do. All right, so we're to the F in safe. You got to be fire ready. There's things you can do around your house. Say you've gotten the code red alert, or there's smoke in the air and you hear sirens. There's things you can do to help your home survive, give it a better chance of surviving. If you fill buckets with water and put them out and around your house, net garden hoses, don't flow water, just connect your garden hoses so that firefighter can quickly put a couple embers out. That's what starts most home fires in these conflagrations, is the embers that are cast. And if you have pine needles collecting in corners and on your roof and in your gutters, that's where these fires start. So ahead of time, you want to do your fire mitigation, clean your roofs and gutters, clean up your pine needles and pine cones. And then at the last minute, you can close all your drapes, move your barbecue, your propane bottle if you have a barbecue, things like that. And these are things you can do when you're loaded up, ready to go, and maybe you're in pre-evac or get set mode, and you want to give your chance a fighting chance, or house fighting chance. There's folks who are determined to stay and fight the fire. If you've never fought a wildland fire before, I can tell you your eyes burn, your throat burns. If you ever stood around a campfire and the smoke gets blown in your direction, you instinctively move away. Picture not being able to move away. It's not fun, and it's not safe. So do your work ahead of time, be prepared so that you can walk away, shut the door, and give your house a chance to survive, be prepared to rebuild your life, and off you go. So it's not worth risking your life and getting hurt. Okay, so then evacuate. When we send out the message, it's time to go. We use ready, set, go. We want people to be aware of the color coding of our evacuation zones. Red, yellow, green stands for ready, set, go. And I'll show you something on that in a second. On the right, you can see this is what the alert will look like on your phone. It'll have a alert tone, it'll vibrate, and it will say what it is. Like I said, LPCOEM is La Plata County Office of Emergency Management, what the fire is or what the emergency is, and then there's that link, readylaplata.org. That takes you to our evacuation page, which helps you identify the zones and whether you have to go now or not. The phone number there, 970-385-8700. That is, we'd love to get that on some fridge magnets for everybody. And that's something we want you to know. Save that in your phone as well. That is our emergency call center. If you need help or assistance for any reason, We have search and rescue volunteers staffed at the call center and then also standing by. And again, that's to help people who don't drive. They can't get out on their own. We're going to go out and help extract people, or say if you've got animals that are loose, whatever your problem or issue is, that's our call center. So we're going to staff that in emergencies. And I'll show you what that link looks like in a second. ReadyLaPlata.org brings you to this page. And I'll give you a second if you want to click on it. It should work for you. It'll open up to a little splash box. Right now, we're geared up for our drill, and I'll talk about that in a second. In a real emergency, that we'll have a little box here that explains red, yellow, green is ready, set, go. And so this is the page we want you to get familiar with, because this is what we use to provide that critical information that's linked to our emergency alerts. Not going for you?
Oh. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that right now we've got the top page on that is going to be our 2025 evacuation information.
Where are you right now?
I clicked on the readylaplata.org and it opened up the website. You may have to stop share and reshare.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we can't see the
Hang on one second.
Yeah,
website.
take a second to do that on mine as well.
That it there. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Hang on, Elisa.
It's not going to work. I can talk through it.
That it? Oh. That isn't showing what I have here. That's the problem.
Okay. Do stop share and then share again.
Yeah.
If you
what I did.
reshare it, that typically works. Yeah.
Right, but,
Okay, I bet you're sharing it.
okay.
Can you
Elisa,
guys-
what do you see right now?
Drill only 2025 evacuation info.
That's good.
Perfect. Okay, so right now we have our splash page here is our evacuation information with some information on Ready, Set, Go and what we're doing on our week-long event, which starts April 21st. If you scroll down, it talks about Ready, Set, Go. In the red box, you've got some options for how to sign up for code red. You can do that by clicking a link and using your computer. You can use a mobile device by texting LPCOEM to 99411. Looks like I also have a link to Watch Duty there. And then more options for code red. So this is just some information for our exercise. In the event of that code red going out, or IPAWS going out, you dismiss that little white box you saw at first, and then it takes you to a map. Okay, so now you've gotten the alert, there's smoke in the air. What do? You click on that link in the alert and you can zoom in.
Where are you? Rob? Would you click on
Of the Rockwood incident.
down here?
Rockwood evac map at the top.
Oh, okay.
Are you with me on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to zoom into R1, which stands for the Rockwood Fire Zone 1. And as
Elisa, excuse me. Elisa, can you see the map?
Yes.
Okay, great. So as you zoom in, you'll start to see roads, and hopefully you'll identify the area and where you might be in that area. And then if you keep zooming in and in, you'll see addresses that provides further confirmation that, yes, in fact, you are in the green zone. If you see on just underneath that map, green means go now, leave. We have R1 labeled, so if people are colorblind, they can see R1 means go now, and R2 you're in pre-evac or get set. And then during an incident, as we get more information, we'll start filling out the stuff at the bottom as far as check-in locations, what shelter you're going to go to, road closures and things like that. So that goes hand in hand with our alerts, and I'll go back to the presentation. I'm going to go back to the presentation.
Okay. And let's see, what page are we on?
Should be evacuate, and I think that's right where you left off. Should pick up right there. You folks see evacuate? in that?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but this is. Okay,
Okay, do you see crate or secure your animals?
hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second here.
Yeah, if you wanted to slideshow across the top, and then from current slide, click on that. Yeah. And then you can click through to where it says evacuate. We'll catch up here.
Slide is that.
Past the F. Close. Okay, and then all the way down to create or secure your animals. Perfect.
Now. What I need to do.
We just see you guys.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Hang on 1 second. Okay. Now, what do you see, Elisa?
That looks good. Evacuate.
Okay. Masters of technology. So one thing we say about your animals, when you're loading up and you're getting ready to evacuate, they're going to stress. They're going to be stressed out too, and they might run. So take care of your animals first, whether you're going to put them in a crate or put them in the car first, or shut them in a room while you're doing all your loading up and the doors open. We don't want animals out running loose in an evacuation zone and stuff. So take care of those. We've all seen videos, from the recent fires. There's smoke in the air, daytime turns to night, fire engines are coming in. It's scary, people are stressed, and there's going to be traffic trying to get out the same way you are. So just take a deep breath, rely on knowing 2 ways out, and stay calm, drive safe, and just don't panic. Next slide, ready, set, go. Ready as just, hey, if you take our advice and you build a go kit and you know 2 ways out of your neighborhood, and you've got your checklist on things you're going to grab, and you're staying informed, That's what we call being ready. We live in a forest in Southwest Colorado. You just always need to be ready 365 days a year. So, I mean, this can all be turned into winter preparedness too, and a go kit in your car if you get stranded in a snowstorm. This same concept applies. So be ready always. So then it gets down to, are you in the get set zone or in the go now zone? Ready, set, go. It can be confusing. Some areas use an evacuation map with red, and they say you got to go now if you're in the red. So we just want to make it very clear for people. Green is go, and we've got to just really hammer on that. Couple videos here. I'm not going to show those. That's really all I have. Like I said, you make some arrangements. You have your vital documents. You have your passwords. You have some vital information. It's going to be a lot easier to put your life back together. And hopefully, we rely on the prevention one, and we keep a fire, from starting, or we keep it very small with our, being ready for that. I encourage everybody to take advantage of this fire exercise on April 24th. We're going to send out code reds. Oh, let me take a step back. So we're kicking off our week-long wildland evacuation exercise week for La Plata County with a iPause alert. We're sending out a live iPause to your phone on Monday, April 21st at 9:30 in the morning. We were going to do that Sunday, but that's Easter Sunday, and we got some pushback on that. So we moved it to Monday now. So Monday morning, we're sending out an iPause. You'll get the alert on your phone. We encourage you to click on readylaplata.org link in that alert, and that enables us to test how much traffic can our vital emergency evacuation page handle. We're kind of doing a stress test there. And then for your area, you're one of the 3 subdivisions or regions that we're doing a live fire drill for. So on the 24th, it's your day for the Rockwood fire. So that fire is simulated only. It's going to start Rockwood and burn north all the way up to the county line. And so we are encouraging people to pay attention to code red. You're going to get drill only alerts. When you get the alert, we encourage you to practice your plan. Say, how long does it take to get out of your house with all those critical things? Go to your evacuation check-in point where that's going to be communicated to you on the code red, but it will be at the Tamarron Community Center for Glacier, Tamarron, and Rockwood, and it's going to be a purgatory for everybody north of this area. And we're going to have search and rescue there to help you check in. You can get a rapid evac tag, which is going to be your ticket back into your zone after evacuations get lifted. And we can answer any questions for you. There's no commitment. Nobody has to do this, but we're setting the table for you to practice your own fire drill. So have fun with it. If you don't have a plan in place, maybe you want to see if you can wing it and how that goes for you. And then maybe that'll help you identify what you need to do. Or, hey, I encourage you to put your plan together, build a checklist. If you have a 2-story home, make 2 checklists, one for upstairs, one for downstairs. And if you have 2 people, you can divide and conquer and just see if you can get out of your house in 15 minutes or so. So that's our exercise that we're also doing on the 22nd of April. We're at the fairgrounds with a expo type event where we'll have everything community related. We'll have Red Cross, the utilities there, fire mitigation contractors. We're going to set up a shelter so you can see what a Red Cross shelter looks like. Fire departments will be there with fire engines, and kids can squirt water at the hose. I think LPEA will be there with a power line demonstration. So it's kind of an expo event that we want to get people to, and we're going to hopefully grow that year in, year out. So like I said, it's a week-long series for us in emergency management to get ready. You are involved in this with your own fire drill on the 24th. Hope everybody can participate, and come on down on the 22nd to the fairgrounds if you're available. And if not, hopefully we can do another follow-up exercise for folks that aren't in this area at this time, but you know, before fire season really gets up and running, and we can come back out and do whatever it takes to get people prepared. So that's all I have.
You all done with this?
Yep, all done. You can ask any questions if you have any. Didn't see any in the chat or you know, just one question so far, but if anybody else has a question, let me know. Contact me. If you Google LPC OEM, you'll come to our county website and our phone number is there. Go ahead and call, leave us a message, ask questions. We really are in public outreach mode and we want people to be informed. So thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and hope to see you on the 22nd or the 24th. Yeah, questions in here.
The rendezvous point was at the Valley Golf Course Clubhouse, the mine shaft parking lot.
Okay. Okay. Cameron,
It's gonna be right across the park.
okay. Did you guys hear that online, Kristen, Carlos?
Yep, I heard it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody, unless we got anything else from the room.
Nope, thank you.
Okay,
All right, we're all done. Interesting. These guys have anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, well. Then I will post this online and send the link to everybody. All right.
okay, I'm stopping my.
Recording stopped.